Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's Creating New Together. We've got all of us here, and today we're going to be talking about how things have been going, seeing as though we're coming towards the end of a year and we've had a gigantic experience, all of us, during the whole year in so many different ways. And rather than doing our normal little settling exercise in the beginning, we'd like to invite you all to go over to Helen and John's John Harmony 21st. That is this evening, half an hour after our discussion here. Please feel free to join. There's people from all over the world joining to bring some balance and healing and harmony at this time. So yeah, half an hour after this. And as usual, Orla will look after all your comments, so please feel free to keep her busy. And that's all I've got for now.
What do you think of the show so far?
Goodbye. So what do you think of the show? Yeah. So what does everybody think of the show so far?
Rubbish.
Well, that's it. See you all later.
So what's tonight about? What's the idea of tonight?
At seeing how far we have come, because when this started, we had no idea where anything was going with COVID, with ourselves, with how we could assist others. And now we're at the end of the year, so we've got something to look back on. So we're just looking at how it's been going and what everyone thinks of that.
Sonia, what do you think?
I think it's more like for me, it's like we set out to do something, and then most of the time we have an idea, and then we actually don't have an idea. And also we all have plans, but then with the COVID every situations, it seems like nothing's go according to the plan, and we kind of it's like what is it called, a pendulum sometimes.
Ola.
I feel like it's about when you're in a constantly changing situation, what can happen and how we deal with what happens, whether it is something that we're constructive about or not, and how that applies to everything we've been through this whole year, and not just on Creating New Together, but in the whole pandemic and everything else that's happened through the year, that we've been given an opportunity to sail a choppy sea, and how did that roll out?
Which was exactly what I was going to say, and you just stole my thunder.
Sorry, I got it wrong.
Did we talk about this before?
Shall I take your place?
Yeah, go on.
Well, my conclusion is everything that Orla said.
I have to remove myself.
All right, let's be serious for a minute. Creating New Together came out of what we were doing with Getting Together to help people with COVID. And then Creating New Together was more about looking at where it could be taken and how people, not how we could help others, but how we could encourage others to share how they were helping themselves, and other people could get something from that. So there was a whole series of topics that you three talked about that were brilliant. The week after you said you were going to talk about it.
Yes. Exactly.
Absolutely.
Every time.
So we're right on time if it's every time. Just everyone knows whatever we're talking about in any particular week, we'll actually be discussing it the following fortnight. So.
Exactly. Which gives people time to catch up.
It does.
If you take that out of it, because that's about whether you get it right or not, if you take that out of it, what do you feel you've been able to achieve, the three of you, by doing what you're doing? And what does the audience feel that you've achieved for them by doing what you're doing? That's my question to you guys.
I feel for me, sorry, very early on we were talking about how when you were with getting together, it was about we're in a new circumstance. Therefore, well, what can we do to do things differently in ways that we may not have expected? And one thing that I think we're learning or have learning to work together, because we're in 3 different countries, we're in different time zones. We've never done this before. It's a whole new experience. So that's definitely been different.
I feel like as well, we've been really good at showing that there is no perfect, and that it's okay. That's okay. I think that's even on a personal level is really important. I think it's one of the big things I learned this year is that things do go wrong, but it's not the end of the world. And often we're given a presentation of people that's all about things having to be right and having to look right and appear right. And I feel like we did a great job of trying to get it right and then going, oops, and then what happened? Then what would happen the next week, and learning from it. So I feel like that was something that at least says it doesn't have to be polished and beautiful for it to be of help, service.
John talks about the difference between appearance and significance. Appearance is paying lip service to how it looks and getting it right and being perfect, and it's got nothing to do with spirit. Significance is why is it happening, and what's the potential for growth, what's the opportunity as a result. There's been a lot, not just for you, but for other people who try to get it right, and when they see us making mistakes, that's good, because, well, if we can make mistakes, perhaps it doesn't matter so much if we get it wrong.
And also, I just see it now, just the moment you said about the 2 weeks time, I just see it now how, like, every time, like, we go to the topic and, like, we dive in with the head. And it's like all head stuff for the whole first one. And then we usually, and then when we come back, we're like, oh, actually, this all head stuff, there's no spirit, nothing in it. And we kind of relax. And then the 2 weeks later, we're more relaxed and we actually say what actually feel or guided, whatever. That is just, it's like been a pattern. Head, okay, now got it wrong. Now relax. Then the outcome is magical.
Yeah. I think you've all done a good job. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think so. Considering where they started and where they are at now. I mean, it's a long road ahead, but it's going to be a hell of a lot smoother.
What does the audience think, Paula? Are they talking
Glynis says, for me, the team have been role models for doing something new and being okay when things go oops.
Excuse me, Glynis, we don't have oopsies.
We have the occasional phone call.
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody else is brave enough to say yet. Come on, guys.
Because basically, it's not about being perfect.
No.
If you're looking out to help other people, it's not about you. It's about the people that you're there to help. So if the focus is all upon us helping, we have to be perfectly presented in order to help somebody else. We're not helping anyone. There's no heart in it. It is detrimental. Yeah. Yeah.
It's all concerned.
And for me, the other thing that I've seen is that it doesn't matter how much you might want somebody to come together to be part of a community. There'll always be people that will step forward. And they're the easy ones. Even if they disagree with what is happening, they're the easy people because they're vocal. People that observe, that watch, that don't comment, that don't participate, you don't know if they're getting anything or not. So that's where it can be tricky trying to get it right for everybody so that those people are covered. And you can't.
No.
You can't. It's got to be you and share what you want to share.
Hmm.
What's been-
go ahead.
Go on.
No, I was going to say, Elaine has said, I've really enjoyed the alacrity. And I have to excuse my ignorance. What does alacrity mean?
What is alacrity?
So
Speed. The
Say again?
alacrity. Speed.
Oh,
Speed.
It's the
okay.
willingness and the speed with which something takes place.
Okay, thank you. And then Amanda has said, it's been great when it's gone wrong, and you guys have gone with it. It's true.
Yeah.
There was nothing else to do.
I've got a suggestion to make. I think the first program next year could be how to make 5 faux pas in one 30-minute show.
Oh, easy.
Easy.
Give us a challenge.
Which one's next?
I think the difference now is that at the beginning of this, I would have been quite embarrassed by getting it wrong. I mightn't have shown it, but inside I was probably dying. But now it's okay. Like now I'm like, yeah, because there's always a way forward. And I also learned that you've got 2 ways to go with it when it goes wrong. You can either get really upset about it and make it worse, or you can just stop and go, okay, well, what's the way out, or what's the way forward, and ask for guidance, like, and stuff. So, yeah. Elaine said she felt it could be longer, and sometimes it takes a little while for us on this side. It sounds like you're on the other side of a universe.
It takes a little while for us on this side, perhaps for them to catch up with such imperfect beings.
The speed at which we stuff up is just too fast. If we do it longer, it means we're making more mistakes. So,
The more mistakes you make, the more you learn.
Yes.
yeah, the aha moments that have come after we've realised that we actually didn't talk about what we had intended to talk about. The aha moments that come back when you've got something to look back on have been amazing, which then has kind of helped us actually talk about what we had intended to talk about.
The thing for me has been seeing how when you first started, you were all very proper.
Oh, yes. Oh, Lord, yes.
What do we do now?
And gradually, as you got it wrong, gradually you relaxed and more of who you were came through. So people had an opportunity to get to know the 3 of you, which is good because I'd like to correct a misconception that people have. There's a misconception that exploring intuitive pathways is our new website. It's not. The membership site is being run by Orla, Sonia, and Anita. Exploring Intuitive Pathways is theirs. It's not our website. We still have insight teachings. In fact, ours will change next year. This is about how the 3 of them want to help people navigate intuitively rather than navigating perfectly. Would that be right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And it belongs to you too. That's your website, that's your work, and that's what you're taking forward. So I just want to clarify that for anybody that's thinking that it's out, it's not. This is what the 3 of them have put together. Which means we're not talking to them ever again.
Yeah. This is the end. This is the final countdown.
Is that a threat or a promise?
Both. It's both a threat and a
Oh,
promise.
there you go.
But that's what we're intending now, and seeing as though we never seem to do what we had set out to do, it means we'll be talking again in 2 weeks. So see you all next year.
What do people feel they like the 3 of you to look at next year? Are there any ideas or suggestions?
Oh, yeah, not yet. That's a good idea.
Because it's easy for people to enjoy, but, how about if the audience starts to contribute some ideas? Well, why don't you look at this, or could you look at that? And then that gives you a whole different level of what you could offer.
Yeah. And And that's part of in the beginning, how you were saying we were all like so trying to get it right, that, you know, you don't know what people want to hear. You don't know if they want to hear about
Whoops.
Oh,
rainbows and unicorns, or if what we think and experience. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, it'd be really good to hear what people want to see us stumble over and mess up. Let us know.
I'd like a talk on rainbows and unicorns, please.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to know the different types of unicorns. And I want us all to wear white as well, please, when we're having that discussion, if you don't mind. Thanks very much.
All right, well. Excuse me while I choke on having to wear white.
Haresh has said, I think this team opens the door to accepting things and creating new opportunities within it without having a specific goal, and how to learn to flow with our guidance. That helps because we need to get to a point of community in lightheartedness without pressure of results. And that's what I like about this new open door. It's the light within the tunnel, not at the end of it.
Now that is a really beautiful compliment.
It is. It's really lovely. Thank you, Haresh.
Thank you, Haresh.
That's gorgeous.
Thank you.
However, we will shoot him at dawn tomorrow.
Yes, too nice. Too nice.
Too nice. Yeah. I agree that at the beginning we're all proper, because also we were like fall into the trap of the politically correct. We wanted to say the right thing, we want to say the pretty things. And now when I watch it, I'm like, who's this person sitting talking? It's not me at all. I would never say something like that. I was like, whoa, yeah. I think that was the trap that we set ourselves. Yeah.
When we made the montage, you know, that went from the very beginning, Helen, when you began and it came all the way through, that was quite funny to watch because it was really obvious where we kind of would start and then how it would change. And then it's a great little show to look at that and go like, oh God, okay, it doesn't matter, it's fine. But you can see that kind of, yeah, see, you know, do this.
I was thinking, I don't know if you agree, but the evolution of you three has sort of tied it to the evolution of the house.
Yes.
Not exact timing, but
they've
both gone together, and we've sort of nearly finished this as it's going to be.
And you're nearly at the place where you want to be.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that's so true.
Almost ready. One or two bits that we've got no control over to finish it.
One or two bits that Spirit's got control over for you to finish it.
Yeah.
Look at them. They've got no idea what you're talking about. What sort of...
No, I'm just saying it's really smart. It's really smart.
But no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
From the planning to the completion, it's kind of followed a rhythm.
Yeah.
Does anybody else want to talk to us, or shall we keep burbling on?
Marianne says, here, I'll put this up. Maybe cover the topic, being imperfect is okay. Could be a series, and what you've learned from mistakes and being able to laugh at yourself. I kind of feel like that's what we've been doing.
Marianne, they've done that every time they've had the second week. They've gone back over it. But actually, that could be a challenge to everybody in the audience to contribute where you were imperfect and it became okay.
Yeah.
Let the audience do a bit of work.
Yeah, let them do a bit of work. Yeah. Yeah, because being imperfect is when you're really being yourself. It's all the other stuff, all the controlling stuff, thinking that that's how it should be, and it never works out. Never works out.
It's challenge.
Sorry, say again.
It's challenge. Doing this.
Oh God, what's the biggest challenge?
Do you have an hour?
Yeah.
For me, it's been learning to work with others as opposed to working by myself. I was so used to working by myself, and to learn to work with two others. And as Anish, I think you said earlier, different countries, different time zones, but that was my biggest challenge because I just haven't done it for years. And part of me didn't want to do it, if I'm completely honest. So that's been really good to actually get to the point where it's like, oh, actually, it's fine. We can do this. But that was my biggest challenge for sure. Yeah.
My biggest challenge is to relax. Like I couldn't relax. I felt like right at the beginning, like if I make a little bit mistake, I would really cry like a lot after that. And I would be like going over like, why did I do that? Now I'm like, why are you surprised? And then, so now I feel like also to work with everybody as a team, that I'm not very good. I'm very used to doing everything on my own. So now it's also to work with a team and to actually also to learn about the rhythm, how everybody speak. Because before I felt like I have to wait until everybody closed their mouth and then I can talk. Now I'm like,
No.
You'll just talk all over each other. It's all fine now.
Yeah.
You would never get a word in edgeways if you were waiting. You know what we're like.
No, we literally all talk. Yeah, after we actually all talk at the same time. Oh, and I noticed this, and we noticed that, and did you see that? And oh my god, we made so yeah, somewhere in there we're here. My biggest challenge, definitely, because I was about a resistance of hell no, this is not something I ever saw myself doing, wanting to do. Was swamped with disinterest around the whole thing, and then with the purpose and the reason, it's like, hell yes, somehow I'm absolutely in 100%, and then it kind of hits you. It's like, oh my god, this is a case of never say never, because here you go. So getting used to doing something that I seriously had no natural inclination to do, even though I can talk like a champion for days, not in this way. So that's definitely been a challenge.
I realised
swamped with disinterest.
Yeah.
Fantastic phrase. Swamped with disinterest.
You can all use it. It's my gift to everybody. But yeah, and also whatever you said, never to. It's amazing. What I've learned from that is I've actually looked at all the stuff that I have said never to, because there has been so much fun and joy, and I've learned so much from doing something that I thought I would never, ever do, that I can't be thankful enough. And, accept more trip-ups and stuff-ups.
Well, here's a nice comment for you, Anita, from Amanda. Anita, you were born to do this.
Oh.
You were.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
There's something you want to contribute?
So what's next? Where are you going? Where are you going the next time you have a meeting? We've sort of talked about, you're almost coming to the end of this first chapter. What's next?
I feel like not having any expectations would be a great next step. Coming together and without having to know. I think we definitely went through a long phase of having to know what we might say or need to say. I think coming together, literally just coming together and seeing what it comes from our intuition, from our guidance, I think that would be a great next step, and it would really help that would help our collaboration. Say again?
That could be an intuitive pathway.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm writing it down.
Yeah. Because we've done head pathway, we've done emotional pathway, so
A mental pathway.
Step of following our guidance as to what's next. So that will be really interesting.
Yeah. And John's always said to me, relax and allow. So this is the allow part. The next step is allow part, and just whatever is guided and intuitions, and tune in and ask before I even open my mouth.
That could be fun.
Mm.
That could really.
I feel like the whole journey has been so similar to any course that we've ever done with Helen or with Tony. It sounds really like like nothing too taxing, it's just like, for example, the 7 spiritual truths. I remember Tony was the one who emailed us, said, would you like to do it? And I was like, that sounds nice, just 7 truths, I just learn about them. But there's so much more, and that's what I feel this is also. There's so much more. Like we never really know where we're going. So the only way to go is to connect, to ask. But yeah, there's just more and more all the time.
Well, it's fascinating because you've got Anita, who is into the mentoring. You've got Ola, who's into the astrology. You've got Sonia, who's into the tarot. You've got a really solid base there as a springboard.
Yeah.
You could go in 3 different directions, and each direction could open up into another 3. And go for it. You could be around the universe before you've done.
Why not? Amanda said she's found often that the 30 minutes has gone really quickly.
Yeah.
And Harish says, sounds like the team has been washed and tumble dried several times over. And kudos for making it so far.
Do you know, in all cycles, there's the pre-rinse. I think this was just the pre-rinse.
Yeah. We're finally going into the full wash.
Yeah. So look out. I think that it's how all of your courses have, like the instinct for when you've put one of your courses out, same as this, my instinct was just a yes. And what's happened through every single one of them is whatever it is you may think it might be about or don't think it may be about, it, whatever is going through, it is never what your expectations are. And so much that you never, ever anticipated or expected would come from them that you're like, it's just magic. So it's an amazing journey. Just like seeing how joyful something can be and how much it opens within you, doing something that you never in a million years thought you would put your hand up to do. I cannot say I highly recommend doing whatever you said you would never do. And if it's completely opposite to who you are or who you think you are or who you think you should be or what you think you're going to find on the other side, just that's been my experience for this whole year. It's just awesome.
That's your magic. That's creating the magic.
Yeah.
It's letting go of this. COVID's shown us that.
Yeah.
Different countries have handled it different ways, trying to get it right.
Yeah.
They're people. And New Zealand did get it right. And I've had people say to me, oh, that's only because you're a small island. But Ola, you said earlier, Ireland is exactly the same size as
population,
same population as New Zealand. And look at where Ireland is. So it's not about the fact that we're small. It's about the fact that, as you 3 did, we collaborated together.
Yeah.
You 3 collaborated together, and out of it, you created magic.
And you also think part of the COVID thing is when you have a leader who doesn't care about being seen to be the nice guy, like who actually will make the right decision. And so it's that plus a community that are willing to collaborate together. Like there seems to be a couple of elements there. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
There's got to be a willingness to be honest.
Yeah.
And to say, this is how it is. I might want it to be different, but this is how it is.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, let's use this to win an election. It was, let's use this to face the threat and move beyond it. There was no ulterior motive.
No.
So when we do things from the heart without an ulterior motive, it makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And it has a big effect on everyone because you guys now are free to essentially live how you were before. Like from what I know, you guys are still very conscious and aware, but you are living and trading unencumbered by anything. So the outcome of the reward, so to speak, or the outcome of the working together and the even through all the challenges is, yeah, you guys are free.
What's interesting, we were talking earlier, and what's interesting is where we are now, the only problem is that we can't travel internationally. But, you know, until airfares became cheap for everybody, nobody travelled internationally. And nobody felt that they were missing out. So our consciousness shifted to expand into exploring other things. When we got challenged, that was the one thing that we struggled with, the fact that we had to bring our consciousness back. Spiritually, it's the in-breath and the out-breath.
Yeah.
But then we breathe it in and take it here, use it where we are to build. It's going to be interesting to see what 2021 brings.
Like the yin and the yang.
It is, yeah, it is. It's the yin and yang. And let's hope that balance is found.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, does anyone else want to share anything else? Or any comments from anybody? Because if not, we will be hopping over to John Harmony 21st.
Here it is again. Yep.
So just click on join if you're not already a member, and it's wonderful. Can't recommend it enough.
Can I just
Yes.
Thursday, Tony has just prompted me. He's doing a special Christmas Eve healing circle Thursday night as well.
Awesome.
8 o'clock meditation.
Yeah, they're stunning. Highly recommended. We do them every week. Can't live without them. Cool. Thank you, Tony. No, through this whole period, they've been a consistent.
Yes.
They've provided a consistency through this whole year that it has been wonderful. So thank you.
Thank you.
And we will see everyone in 2 weeks' time for further rubbish.
Can't wait.
Join in 2 weeks for absolutely amazing, wonderful magic, perfection, and political correctness, and everything else that you think we will be that we will not be.
Excellent.
Merry Christmas. And stay safe.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Bye.